What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays Podcast, episode 56, UFC 288. One of the best cards of the year, I guess, so far. I'm really interested in this card. We lost 2 fights, but that's okay. We do have some big Lambos, at least I do, and I'm pretty sure Tim has some big ones here. He's been gone for the last 2 weeks, fucking around in Vegas, fucking around somewhere else. Getting free rooms, winning poker money, all types of shit this guy's doing. But he's not giving you guys Lambos, so that's on him. But he's going to be coming back with vengeance, I'm pretty sure, this week. You know, he's got it all built in for the last 3 weeks now, 2.5 weeks. So, Tim, are you ready for UFC 288?
I am very ready. I'm pumped to get back in business. Wanted to thank John and Luke for covering for me last couple of weeks. Those guys are legends and OGs, so appreciate them doing that. And I'm excited to get back here with you and make some more loot. Let's get these guys. Let's kill these books.
Yeah, let's do it. Before we move on to our plays, let me always shout out my chat, one of the best out there, Victor De Jesus. What is up, my friend? He's saying, what's up, Narco Tim in chat? Let's get some Lambo plays. Yes, sir. MMA Goulash. I can see a solid amount of violence on this card. Me as well, man. Last week, I was a decision machine for my fucking Lambo plays, and it kind of worked out. There was a lot of decisions last week, and I kind of wish I played more fight goes the distance instead of picking decision props on sides. I would have made a lot of money last week, but I didn't do it, and it's live and learn. XBlon Twitch, what is up, my friend? Here from the start this time, making sure I get those money plays in quick. Hope the early people out here are having a great night so far. Thank you, my friend, Mr. Jingles. Let's fucking go and cash. Oh, man, it would be nice to cash a Lambo parlay and a superfecta. Yeah, that would be freaking really nice. Tyler Gates, what is up, my man? Cinco de Mayo, let's go. Everyone says St. Stephen. Sean Gone, let's fucking go. Who else is in here? Joshua Frick, what is up, my man? He's welcoming Tim back. Landon Warner, what is up? Kristen, how are you doing? MMA Propaholic, let's fucking go. Nick G, Dumpy, Mr. D, let's fucking go. 45 of you already in here, and we will start it out with the first fight of the night. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 8-3 Joseph Holmes versus the 10-3 Claudio Ribeiro. What do you have here, Tim, for your Lambo play on this banger of a first fight on the card?
I was looking for a prop on anywhere to be found. I was not able to find it for spells to be cast before the fight and witches to be seen, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So if anybody in the chat finds that anywhere, let me know, because I was looking for that prop. I'm excited for the pre-fight here. I think it's kind of a binary fight. Both of these guys are really big fades for me. I don't rely on either one of these guys, and I've bet against them in both of their UFC fights. And you know, betting Jamie Pickett against anybody is also a huge sign too. So those are like big red flags on both of these fighters. So I'm not really like, again, I think it's a binary fight. I think there's going to be violence. The only way I don't see this fight finishing is if both fighters, which they both notoriously gas them out, like gas each other out so bad that they can't finish each other. But I think somebody dies in this fight. I think I'll lean with the Ugly Joe side because he's got a little bit better numbers. His round 2 is plus 950. I think if he survives and cage pushes in this fight in the first round and maybe gets him down in the first round, I think the sub will be there. And I think round 2, I think it'll be better chances for him if he can kind of get through the first round, similar to what Abdul Rahasaktan did against him. So I think that's the play. Ugly Joe, round 2, not plus 950. Round 3 is plus 1400. I would go by sub if I would kind of lean that way, but you never know with these guys. They're both shit. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, these guys' level is not very high. I think Joseph Holmes, honestly, is not UFC level. Ribeiro, probably not UFC level. We don't know yet. I mean, he doesn't have enough fights. But Ribeiro, to me, hits very hard. That's one. Two, I think his chin is better here than Holmes. I know he got knocked out last one out, but historically, when you watch his fights, he's got a pretty good chin. He takes punches pretty well. Now, Al Hassan hits like a truck, so he landed some big bombs and got him out of there. I just don't see that from Joseph Holmes. However, what I do see from Joseph Holmes is absolutely getting teed off on by freaking Jamie Pickett, which is a bad look. Jamie Pickett hurt him in the second. And honestly, Joseph Holmes seems like he gasses as well. I don't like his cardio at all. I don't really like much on this fight, to be honest. I think Ribeiro probably knocks this guy out. I think he's a lot more physical. I know you mentioned cage push. Yeah, it's possible. I just don't think Holmes is physical enough. Like Jamie Pickett was out physically. It was out physicaling this guy, and now you have Ribeiro, who I think is very physical. Just don't see Holmes having much success with that. Maybe he gets a takedown. Honestly, I don't think so either. I just think he gets KO'd here, man. So I'm gonna go KO. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go round 2. It's 525 for Ribeiro. And round 3 for Ribeiro is 1050 on Unibet Bet Rivers. I don't know what the number is on DraftKings because the lines are all screwed up here. Round 3 Ribeiro. Okay, round 3 KO is 1,000 on DraftKings. So I think round 2, round 3. This guy does have a late round finish in his career. He has a 5th round finish, believe it or not, and his cardio is not very good, but it's not terrible, to be honest. So I don't know. It's more of a fate of Joseph Holmes, to be honest. Ribeiro round 2, round 3 is where I'm gonna go. I think he's gonna KO him. It even might be round 1. It just sucks that I don't know when he's gonna nuke this guy, but I think he nukes him eventually. Moving on, fight number 2. It is, again, in the middleweight division. It is the 13-1 Ikram Alaskerov versus the 12-4 Phil Hawes. So initially, I had a bet at Alaskerov, just like pre-tape. I'm like, okay, this guy, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know if I confused him with someone else or whatever. Then when I went back and watched his tape, I'm like, dude, this guy gassed the hell out in his Eagle FC fight. Terrible look. And I watched some of his other tape, and like the Dana White's Contender Series against Mario Sosa, he was getting landed on a good deal on the feet before he got him down and got to Kimura. The problem I have here is like Phil Hawes is like an elite wrestler, dude. And I think Alaskerov is actually an elite wrestler as well. So what happens, when 2 elite wrestlers are facing each other now? I feel like that's going to cancel out the wrestling. It's going to just kind of cancel out the grappling in general. And then you have, mostly a stand-up fight. Now, Phil Hawes, I think, is a little better technically as far as his hands are. But I do think Alaskerov is the better kicker of the 2. So I do think Hawes throws a little bit more volume on the feet. I think he's a lot cleaner, like I said, with his hands. Hawes has won decisions before. He's I believe 2-0 in decisions in the UFC. I'm gonna go with Hawes by decision, man. The line is plus 700, and I know this fight is scheduled to like basically finish inside the distance, but I mean 700 on a guy that's 2-0 by decision already. That, yeah, he does have KO power. I'm just not very sure if he's going to be able to KO Alaskerov. I mean, he's been KO'd, but obviously that one was like he was ducking down right into an uppercut from Chimaev, and he got absolutely flatlined. So, can Hawes knock him out? Yes. The thing is, Alaskerov can knock out Hawes as well because we know what kind of shit chin he has. So I'm just going to go with Hawes' decision plus 700. I think the line's a little off there on his decision prop.
I love it. I'm on the same one. I think the only other play is Hawes by KO at plus 310. And it's really kind of like I really do lean more points though for a few different reasons. Like I think that Hawes, if he's smart in this fight, is I mean, he's going to have to counter wrestle, and he's just going to be really trying to keep distance and then just use his jab. And he's like, I mean, like the finish, who is this short dude? I can't remember his name. I bet against him. KO to the Deron Win. Yeah, Deron Win. Like he jabbed the shit out of him. Like it wasn't just like him like power shotting him like into death. Like he jabbed his face off. Like I think if he takes that approach and stays at range and really is like smart with his footwork and keeping distance and making sure that he's in positions that he can defend the grappling, I think that the stand up, like you're saying, I mean, Alaskerov's more like kick reliant. It's not like it's not his hands are not really that good. His striking is very rudimentary and kind of predictable. And he doesn't really have like, I'm not saying that the chin can always be like, he can always could be knocked out by anything, but I don't think that it's like this dude's got massive one shot power to be able to knock him out. So that being said, like, all those different factors, we're banking on the durability, you know, on the other side now, on Alaskerov's side. It's like, so we don't know that. So you're getting plus 700. I think, you know, Hawes can win round 1, round 2, and then we just got to bank and like pray that his cardio holds up and his chin holds up. So I think round 1, round 2 are that pretty solid shot for him. I think he's a good dog shot, but obviously anytime you're betting Hawes, you're, you know, holding your nose and your asshole's clenched the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch like Hawes, like first of all, getting like absolutely like basically almost knocked out from bottom by Dolice with elbows was an all-time stupid. Like he just sat there eating elbows one after another. He had one arm free and he just didn't block it. I have no idea what was going on, but he ate like 4 or 5 elbows, fucking got like rocked in his guard, and then eventually got his knee tore apart and then knocked out. I just don't think he has a very good chin, to be honest. Like it's been rocked a lot in his fights. He gets wobbled a lot in his fights. I don't think he has a very good chin, and I don't think it's going to take much from Alaskerov to knock him out. I mean, Alaskerov throws with some heat. He doesn't, like you mentioned, I don't know if he has huge power, but again, I don't think you need huge power versus
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's I don't think he throws. I mean, I think anybody in that division throws big enough to really hurt Hawes. It's just a question of how aggressive is Hawes. I think that's really for me. I just, you know,
I think an important factor we both didn't mention is, and I mentioned it before, but coming off a knee injury, man, this soon, 6 months, less than 6 months off a major knee injury. I don't know what kind of injury he had, but I know it was bad. I mean,
but he was working out like a couple months later. He showed there was signs of him doing stuff physically a couple months later. So I don't think it was like, I think it was like one of those situations in football where you see a guy like, you know, they're out and you think it's going to be like a season-long injury, and then they come back and they're back like 4 to 8 weeks later.
But Tim, if you look at that fight, Dolice, like I pay it, you could see like his kneecap, like something got fucked up bad.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It did not look good. He couldn't even remember. He was trying to stand up like he was falling.
Like if you hyperextend your knee really, really badly, it could take you out. Like I'm saying, like 4 to 8 weeks already.
It looked bad. I don't know. Again, I don't know the extent of the injury. Kind of feel like he came back too quick, but maybe not. We'll see. He always looks good, but then he moved also to Tiger Muay Thai, and I don't know why. Like he was in a very good gym over here, and he moved to Tiger Muay Thai, and lately, Tiger Muay Thai guys have kind of been on the decline. So I don't know. We'll see. Fight number 3. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 13-8 Parker Porter versus the 5-1 Braxton. You want to hear his fucking nickname, Tim? The beautiful monster Smith. So kick this one off, Tim.
Oh my God, this is such a shit show. I kind of see this fight going like a couple ways. One of the ways is not a Lambo, and I don't want to give it out, but like I just think Braxton is, you know, he's just like a teenage boy going in for the kill. You know, like he's gonna try to kill him in the first 2.5, 3 minutes and blow his load as big as he can all over him. If he doesn't hit him, then he's gonna fucking die. So now the problem with me historically with Parker Porter, any like picking his props is like he just breaks your heart. Like he from a violent standpoint, he will break your heart. Like he can't not being able to finish Badoya was horrible. I can't remember who the other guy he was supposed to finish that he didn't finish. Who was it? Do you know who I'm talking about? Oh God, it was painful. It was fucking painful.
I'm looking right now. I think it was.
Anyways, but
was it Parisian?
It might have been. Like the point is like he's got really great positions and he just doesn't finish guys. And I think like I'm gonna go again that he will finish this situation, but I'll go Braxton KO round 1 is plus 280, and then I think Porker round 2 is plus 650. I just think like those at any iteration of that type of fight.
No. So KO1 for Smith, no, you could get a lot better price. I think there's 340 out there.
Oh, is there? Okay.
FanDuel has 340, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry. 340 for Braxton KO1, and I'll leave you up to the other side if you're on it. But if you're not,
I mean Parker Porter round 1, round 2, I think is good. KO1 550, KO2 1300. I'm gonna pass up the sub on this guy. Fuck this guy and his sub. He's probably gonna burn us and sub this guy, but I'm just not gonna do it anymore with him. He's so frustrating with his subs. So yeah, I mean KO1, KO2. I got in, believe it or not, Bet Online opened the KO1 for Porter at plus 1,000. I have it for $100. So if that hits, it'll be nice. I think it's very live, honestly. This guy, if he doesn't get a KO early, and I played all those iterations of Parker Porter 1-2 and then Braxton round 1 KO. Like that's just, dude, this guy gasses within 2 minutes. Let's be honest. He's never been past the 2.5 minute mark, Tim, in his career. Never. Chase Sherman got this guy out of there in 2 minutes. So imagine the killer and Chase Sherman killing this guy in 2 minutes. So.
Yeah, I agree with you on the KO over the sub, and just from the fact that he's broken our hearts. But like this is, I do feel like this is the FOMO moment. This is the time where he breaks our hearts and actually fucking subs some.
Don't say it, Tim. Please do not do it.
I'm with you. I'm gonna probably. I don't want to bet this fight, but I'm probably gonna tell you.
Oh, you have to, Tim. This is this is pretty obvious. I think this is probably one of the best fights to target here. I have a lot of money actually total on this fight. I have under 1.5. I get it again. I got it early, so it doesn't matter. But even at 185, 190, where it's currently at, I still think it's value. Just because this dude does not have even 5 minutes of cardio. You know, he doesn't train at a gym. He doesn't have a coach. I don't even know who's going to be in his corners. This is going to be his dad, his mom, his girlfriend. Like nobody knows about anything about this guy. He said after this fight, he's going to go look for a gym, dude. It's hilarious. I mean, how did they even find this guy? That's my thing. This guy doesn't have a coach, doesn't train in a gym. How the hell did the UFC find this dude? Is my question. Like he's beating a bunch of bums, dude. How is this guy? How did they even find him? The beautiful monster. It's fucking hilarious.
This is how they found him. I don't know if you know this is the truth. This is how they found him. He's the guy that sits on the corner of the bed with the huge dong. He's the same guy. Like that's the guy. They were like, who's this guy? And then they looked at it. They're like, this is Braxton's. Like, and they're like, dude, we got to get the fighter. We got to get the guy.
They put all over other people's pictures. Yeah.
You guys get like an email or a text, and you open it up, and it's this dude. It's that guy.
This dude. Oh, okay.
That's how they found him.
That's how it all makes sense.
It's all viral. Yeah, it's all about viral and selling tickets.
I mean, he probably fights like he's a porn star. I mean, he fights very weird, so I don't know. It's going to be quite a shit show. But one thing to mention, Parker Porter, 15 pounds lighter on the scales from his last fight. Like he came in, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he went from a small C cup and a B cup to an A cup.
He went down to an A cup. Yes. Yeah, Tim is all jokes today, guys. He's on fire right now. Moving on, fight number 4. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 16-2-2 Marina Rodriguez versus the 18-3 Verna Jandaroba. I will kick this one off. Man, I went back and forth. I kind of thought something, then I thought something else. So Jandaroba's got almost all of her opponents down, even though she has shit wrestling, in my opinion. She doesn't have very good striking, right? But somehow, like I said, she gets fights to the ground, right? Marina Rodriguez on the opposite side has been taken down in almost every single fight. It doesn't matter who it's been. They take her down. Like Yan, right? Xiaonan Yan, who is a striker, took her down twice, right? It's embarrassing. Why is she taking you down? So the thing here is like Jandaroba is so good on the ground, man. And if I'm thinking that she gets this fight to the ground, I do believe there's going to be some opportunities to get a submission. Now, is she going to get it? I don't know. Because Marina Rodriguez, I don't think has ever been subbed, right? However, she's been put in bad positions. Like Carla Esparza almost subbed her. You know, Mackenzie Dern, who's high level, almost. Amanda Lemos last timeout almost subbed her with like a neck crank, basically. Now you're talking about Jandaroba, who is very, very, very skilled on the ground and is kind of physical on the ground, right? Her sub prop is 475, Tim. Kind of feel like that's a decent value. I think it should be slightly lower. I think maybe 350, just because I think this fight more than likely hits the ground at least once. And she's going to have those opportunities. And, you know, maybe she doesn't sub her, but I think she's going to have opportunities. And at plus 475, all you can ask for is opportunities to get submissions. And that's a good price. So I'm going to go with Jandaroba sub, but this fight just feels so close, man. I don't know. What do you like here, Tim?
Yeah, I like the exact same thing. It's just too hard to look at Marina's just last 4 to 5 fights and say like she's getting better. Like she's not getting better. Like she's at best just hovering right now. So I think that, you know, like, you know, her last fight, getting bonked is not a good look either. Like really, like, you know, crunched by Lemos. Like you said, I think almost six of her last fights she's been taken down in every fight. That's horrible. She doesn't even have to be taken down in this fight. She could get her back taken. She could get like Verna could pull guard. I will say we have never seen Rob Schneider and Verna in the same room at the same time. So you guys do with that information whatever you will. And I do think that Verna gets her down eventually. Like you said, I don't like the wrestling on Verna very much at all. But I do think that she will eventually get a position in a body lock or a trip or catch a kick and just get her down. Once that happens, I rate her offensive jiu-jitsu from top better than Dern. I think Dern's way better on her back and like just subbing from different positions that way and going claim. She's like more arm bar-ish from top. And I think that that's not what you're going to lock into. Verna's going to do different things, and she's going to do different attacks and have different ground attacks as well that she can set herself up. So I think she's actually going to be more dangerous on top than Dern would be. That might be hot take for some, but I think it's the case. And I like sub, like you said, and I also don't mind like sub 2-3 plus 850, and each round is like sub 2 is plus 1400, sub 3 is plus 2200. I kind of think that the first round might be harder to get her down, and Marina might be able to like stay up that round, but we'll see. I'm not super confident on the round 2-3. I just like the lines a little bit better, and I definitely think sub being plus anything over 300 for Verna is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I kind of handed the plate over to you and you fucking threw it in the garbage. I thought you were gonna say split decision, to be honest, what Mel said.
No way. It's too binary. Like either one's gonna get what they're gonna get. Like
it's binary, but you can't see around where, like, you know, so Marina's winning the striking, right? She's landing on her landing. Verna gets a takedown. She has some control time, has some sub attempts, but doesn't finish. Like, how do you score that round? It could happen.
But that's what I'm saying. They recently they have not been splitting those type of fights. They have been going fighter who's been getting the damage, and then fighter that gets like the sub attempt.
Time out. We're in New York now, so
I do like that. I do agree with that.
Who knows who the fuck we're gonna get as judges?
I do agree. I do agree with that point, but I do think that the binary factor of this fight that whoever's like getting accomplish what they should be getting accomplished. I think it's like the decision factor for either side, where Marina is able to keep her off and just point her up. That's fine. I think Verna getting her down and holding her down for 2 rounds and not subbing her is totally live too. Like, they're all live, but I think like the best line and the bet and like just the most just offline or incorrect line is Verna sub plus 475, like you're saying. Like she's just super dangerous, and just because she hasn't gotten subs the last couple, few fights, it was the most painful one when she fucking broke the Japanese chick's arm, and then they called it a TKO.
That
was the worst. That was painful.
Yeah. So I mean, Mel says Rodriguez hasn't been subbed, had Dern in a sub for. So, yeah, I mean, I understand. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of fights. She hasn't been subbed ever in her career. She has, 820 fights, never been subbed. But, I mean, listen, what I will caution people, everybody in the chat, like, you can't look at only, like, statistics like that when it comes to matchups, right? Different matchups cause different problems. And, kind of like what Tim mentioned, also, like, Dern is not physical. Like, yeah, she's a very good jiu-jitsu girl. Like, she's really good with her jiu-jitsu. But she's just not very physical, man. And she has a very, very hard time getting fights to the ground. Not that Jandaroba is very good at getting fights to the ground, but I think she's a lot more physical than Dern is. And that's the difference, So, like, don't just look at it in a statistics side, because you have to look at matchups and how these two fighters match up. And, then you could basically break down whether, a submission's live, it's not live, or a knockout's live. Like, a lot of times, me and Tim, like, we're in here, right? Oh, this guy's never been knocked out. Why would you think this guy's going to get knocked out? Boom, he gets knocked out. Well, because I've seen certain things. This guy's not really fighting big hitters or whatever the reason was. And now he's facing a big puncher and he gets knocked out. So, but I hear what you're saying. Do that, please. Listen to Mushroom and hit that like button, please. I appreciate it. 73 of you in here. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. What is up, Gerardo? What is up, my man? Yeah. So with that being said, we will move on to fight number 5. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 13-3 Chaos Williams versus the 14-1 Rolando Badoya. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, I'm not going to think outside the box on this one. I'm going to give this Lambo has about 45,000 miles on it, and it's might have had an accident. So Chaos KO1 plus 190, little small hedge on KO2 at plus 650. Within 10 minutes, he's going to hit this guy with a counter and just bonk the shit out of him. It pretty much is going to happen. I think it's like, a very, very high likeliness that it happens. So plus 190 is actually not that bad of a line.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, 15 fights, never been knocked out, but he's fighting in the Peruvian regional scene. And that's probably one of the worst out there. He's a shoot box guy. So these guys are normally tough, but dude, I watched some tape of him and he is so hittable on the feet, does not move his head. His head is very, very stationary. He's getting absolutely clocked in a lot of these fights. He's getting wobbled by some of these low-level guys. And, now he faces a guy in Chaos Williams, and he's exactly what his first name is. He's Chaos, dude. And he hits very, very, very fucking hard, man. I just think he finds a chin. You can't, he's taking the punches from the Peruvian regional scene, and he's getting a little wobbled from those guys. He can't take those punches from Chaos. Like, I don't think so, man. If he does, testament to him, but I think he gets KO'd here. I'm not going to give the high mileage play. I'm going to give you an actual Lambo play. It's round 2 KO plus 650. I just feel like it's obviously round 1 is probably the highest probability, but Chaos does take his time to set up shots. But the way Badoya fights, I think you're probably right. He probably gets tattooed in the first round and gets knocked out. So I like the Chaos side. I think he rolls here. There's a lot of stuff going on social media. This guy's into real estate. They're making too many big deals. Like, this guy made 169. He made weight very easy. He's fucking training. I mean, don't get it twisted. Like, this guy's training. Moving on. Fight number 6. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 14-7 Devin Clark versus the 11-3 Kennedy Njokuani. I mean, one has good cardio. One doesn't have very good cardio. One has a good get-up game and decent takedown defense. The other guy gasses himself out shooting takedowns when he gets desperate. One guy has a huge reach advantage and height advantage, and he's the better striker. So what's going to happen here? Kennedy probably touches him up a little early. Devin starts shooting for takedowns, gets maybe a takedown or two. Kennedy gets back up or defends some of these takedowns, and he starts touching up Clark a little bit more. And Clark starts to get desperate shooting takedowns, and then he starts gassing out because that's when Clark starts gassing out, when he starts shooting desperate takedowns. And as the fight goes on, I think it favors Kennedy a lot more and more. Round 2, plus 550. Round 3, 1,000. I'm not messing around with the KO prop because it's very close. It's not worth it. And Kennedy has gone for submissions before. So plus 550, plus 1,000. Give me Kennedy late round pops.
It even says, I swear, this is what it says. I go, I'll say the other side. Clark split 11-1. That's his path. I go, so that like, I'm not saying that I think that that's what happens, but like, in my opinion, I think that that's what happens.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Right. So like 11-1, if you're on the Clark side, split, that's fine. Right. But Kennedy, my notes on this were like, I go, Kennedy round 2, round 3, don't go for KO. Sub is live, not because of Clark, but not because of Kennedy going for subs, but because of Clark just throws his neck there when he gets tired. Like, it's just so. Yeah, the only other thing I would say is worth a stab is the Kennedy does get points deducted against him a lot for ball, like you just like eye pokes and stuff like that. We've hit on him before, so I probably will take a small like $10-$20 stab at that 20-1. But I'm with you, man. Round 2, round 3, plus 500, plus 1,100, and then it's 40-1 and 55-1 on if you wanted to take the stabs on the sub 2, sub 3. So I don't think that they hit, but I think that it is possible. There you go, Nick. Well done. Love the support, Steelers. So yeah, no, I think I'm with you, man. Kennedy round 2, round 3. I think he's going to come out with a little bit of an edge. I think his mother passed away recently too. So
yeah. Yeah, I think it's a favorable matchup for Kennedy, to be honest, and I was on Clark last time out and I cashed a decent sized dog, but I don't like him in this spot, man. And thank you, Nick, for joining for the very first time. Hope you enjoy it. And he's also a Steeler fan like Timothy here. Moving on, fight number 7. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 26-11 Drew Dober versus the 10-3-1 Matt Frevola. What do you have for us here, Tim?
Dude, we get to bet on one of my favorite fighters to bet on. Man, Drew Dober's been just a cash cow for me. I think this fight is kind of interesting. Obviously, I think that there is a dynamic and there's like a narrative that could happen, iteration of the fight. It could happen that, Frevola comes out and really, really just like Jalen tries to replicate the Jalen Turner fight, tries to replicate the Riddell versus Dober fight, and just completely goes singlet and tries to just keep taking him down and holding him down, wins a decision. But there's just so much. There's so much evidence to say that he's just not going to do that, and or won't necessarily, like, he just physically won't actually go through, like, he won't do it. You're saying, like, why wouldn't you? But I also don't think, like, even if he does, let's say that he does, in my opinion, I don't think he's like going to hold him down enough to where like Dober's not going to be able to get up. And like, I think Dober eventually gets up, forces the fight, and eventually knocks him out. So if the firefight happens early, Dober KO 1 plus 240, got 30,000 miles on this Lambo, and then KO 2 plus 550. Those are just plays I'll do every single day, all with Dober.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Dober side. Let's put that out there. I have a bet on him. I don't think Frevola has a very good fight IQ. He's going to probably try to go in there swinging against a guy that hits very hard, against a guy that has a better chin. And I frankly don't think Frevola has a very good chin at all. Venata knocked this guy down twice, one with a kick, one with a punch. He got iced by Polo Reyes, for Christ's sake. And then he got one punch iced by, Terrence McKinney. Also, I was mentioning this yesterday on the show that I was on. Go back and watch the Gennaro Valdez fight. Like, he's absolutely killing this Valdez guy. Knocks him down like 2-3 times. Guy's gushing on the fence. And then the guy lands like a big shot, and fucking Frevola's kind of rocked then. And it's like, dude, this guy's chin is not very good. And if he gets hit by Drew Dober, he hits very damn hard, bro. Like, and I know Frevola's going to probably bite on the mouthpiece. He just is. That's what he does. He's probably going to get knocked out. But, and this is a big but, if he doesn't, right, and if he decides to take the good path, and that's grappling, that's wrestling, and I think he can land takedowns. And listen, Drew Dober, for whatever he is, he's strong, he's this, he's that. The guy's gotten subbed, a good deal. It's not like he's gotten subbed once. I want to say he's got subbed 3 or 4 times, okay? The other thing is Frevola actually goes for submissions. Look at the Jalen Turner fight, a guy that's a lot better of a grappler than Dober is as far as submission grappling. And, Frevola had him in a pretty good spot there. And I think if he gets those spots against Dober, he might actually get a submission. I don't get, again, I'm on the Dober side. I just don't get plus 1,000 or plus 1,100 submission on Matt Frevola when, if you're on the Frevola side, then you want him to grapple, and you should be absolutely playing that prop. Because if you think in your mind that, Frevola is going to win this fight via wrestling, which I think that's his path. If he stands and bangs, I absolutely think he's getting knocked out. So if that's his path, then you have to play that prop. That prop is off in my mind. Yesterday I was shouting it out as 1,200. Today it's down to 1,000. I still think it's way off. Like, why is it 1,000? Why is I understand Frevola hits pretty hard and Dober's been rocked a little lately, but he's never been knocked out. Why is this KO prop less than his fucking
makes no sense
prop? Why?
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense to me. It absolutely doesn't. I mean, one is 600, the other one's 1,000. Makes zero sense to me. I'm sorry. I don't think he's gonna knock out Dober. And the other thing is, like, dude, when you see him throw, like, he's so bad when he actually measures, like, he like steps, he makes this like stutter step before he throws his big punches. Frevola, and he absolutely can get caught and absolutely floored. And that's exactly what happened against Terrence McKinney. He just gave him one straight left. Boom. He iced him. So
yeah, I don't disagree with the Club and Sub podcast talking about the durability potentially of Dober declining, when we have seen that before with fighters that take one or take two to then crush you with a much stronger shot. So, like, I don't disagree with that. And how he was reacting to Bobby Green and how he reacted to McKinney, obviously, like, those are some big like bigger shots, but like, he didn't react as well. But I think like you're saying, I think to go onto the sub, like, it could be Club and Sub from that way too. Like, I see that he actually bonks him, gets him in a bad spot, and then actually takes him down and gets a really good position that way. So I think that's really live either way.
The thing is, I went very far back on a lot of these Dober fights where he's been rocked before, like a long time ago. He's been rocked, but he recovers so well. It's like, I don't know. Like, I understand Club and Sub podcast saying durability might be declining. Maybe. I don't think he got rocked against, I don't remember, but for sure, but I don't think he got rocked against Green. I mean, he was landing on him like a bunch.
Yeah, I remember he got hit a few times where it was like,
he did get hit, but did he like get rocked, like visibly rocked? I don't remember that, but maybe. And then obviously the thing is, like, McKinney, come on. I mean, McKinney just is a bat out of hell early. Like, he can hurt anybody. It's the recoverability that I love from this guy, man. Like, he can recover, and obviously anybody can get knocked out. And I agree, he's live for a KO. I just think his chin is way, way better than Frevola's. It's not close, in my opinion. And the other thing is, he hits way harder than Frevola. Yeah, Frevola throws everything into the punches, but Dober's power is way better than Frevola. So I don't know. I think he gets knocked out if he does that shit. But if he wrestles now we're talking business, you know. Now I think maybe a sub is live, even a decision for Frevola is live.
Yeah, the sub is a great line. I love that line, actually.
Moving on, fight number 8. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 5-1 Gracie versus the 13-6-1 Charles Jordaine, and I will kick this one off here. I'm gonna go with Jordaine round 2 KO, round 3 KO. So, sorry, round 2 KO is 800. I think that's on either DraftKings or FanDuel. But just the round 3, not taking KO at all, on Unibet is plus 1,000. It's only 100 points off. I wouldn't mess with it. Obviously, might not sub him, but 100 points off. Don't mess with these props for 100 points, you know? So it's round 2 KO, round 3, plus 1,000. Gracie's been out forever, dude. I don't know what the heck he's doing. He's living in a freaking trailer home, and the guy looks like he hasn't had a haircut for like 2 years, and I don't know what's going on with him, but might be a head case, might be something else. But if he gets this fight to the ground, holy fuck, is Jordaine in trouble. But yeah, I like Jordaine later here, round 2, round 3. What do you have here, Tim?
I kind of like have a galaxy brain kind of thought process on this fight. I don't know why I've gone this way, but I think that this fight has a chance to go a little bit more than the lines are saying. So, like Jordaine, like, can he finish people? Yes, but has he also, like, you know, gone ballistic in round 3 and not finished dudes? Yeah, it's like, so, like, I've had a few round 3 bets on him and been like, you know, devastated and like, oh, it was right there and he just didn't get it. But and he's, you know, he's going to go for it. So I always like betting him in round 3. So I love your bet there. But I tend to think like just striking, like just general power and knockout ability and finishing ability, that Cub's like a little more dangerous on the, like with his hands than Jordaine. I think Kron was just taking some serious fucking shots from Cub all fight. And I think that Jordaine by points plus 330. Also, I can see, like, you made this bet a while ago. I forgot who it was against, but it was like Andre Muniz by points. And it was like a great bet. I was on the sub, and it was just like, no, he could take his back a couple rounds and just hold him. And like, that's possible here too. Like, so we just don't know with Kron. And you also don't know, like, with Jordaine, that I'm not saying like he doesn't put himself in really bad positions trying to get up and bad positions to get sub. He does. But like, he also is actually solid. Like, I think, is he a black belt in BJJ? Like, I just think it's like he's one of those dudes where he's more offensively proficient than defensively proficient in jiu-jitsu. But I just think, like, is it possible that you're telling me a black belt could defend a rear naked choke and the dude's got a body lock and a triangle for like trying to get the body lock and trying to get the rear naked for 2 rounds and doesn't? And then round 3 is Jordaine trying to kill him, or, you know, whatever round that happens and he wins 2 rounds like that. So the decision prop for both of these guys just seems like a little bit off for me. So taking a decision like Kron, I don't know what the best line for him is. I saw it on FanDuel, like
I think it's 900.
Yeah, plus 900 is pretty cool. And then plus, I really think it's more Jordaine plus 330. I kind of lean more that way, actually.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have to disagree with the fact that if Gracie has a lot of like back positions, and I think he's gonna sub Jordaine, man. This guy is like really. I mean, the difference in levels here.
I do too, to be honest.
Enormous, dude. When I say enormous, it's enormous, man. Like, it's very big. And I honestly think if he has a lot of like ground control and stuff, he's gonna sub Jordaine. So Jordaine gets up stupidly, gives up his back, stuff like that. Like, he's gonna get himself subbed here.
I lean that way too, but I do think that the points is kind of just.
I like your points, like, on Jordaine's side. I do think that's pretty good. Like, Club and Sub is mentioning, like, dude, Cup Swanson threw everything in the kitchen sink against this guy. This guy was taking and come forward. Now, can he do it again? I don't know. But the reason why I said that about him, Tim, is because when I watched the Caceres fight, dude, he took down Caceres. It was done, dude. Like, and Caceres is a high-level grappler himself. Like, it was over. It was over. He couldn't do shit.
But the problem is that it was so sneaky. Like that was a great takedown attempt. Like he usually is so bad at his takedown attempts. Like
wow, look at what Dixon's saying. I think this is important. If he actually implements this, it's very important because I mentioned this yesterday. He's gonna give Kron opportunities taken down because of that shit right there. The spinning shit, the stuff that he does that are wild, spinning elbows, stuff like that. You're just going to put yourself in a position to get taken down. And that's just not what you want to do against Kron Gracie, right? So
he also, like, honestly, he also does shit that he just falls off balance while he throws strikes.
Yeah, because he's wild.
Yeah, not even just spinning shit. Like, he's just always, like, slipping on banana peels everywhere.
Yeah, well, you don't want to slip on a banana peel against Kron. So, yeah, round 2, round 3 for me. Decision's good, actually. I don't mind that at all at plus 325 or whatever. It's good. Moving on, fight number 9. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 16-0 Movsar Evloev versus the 21-5 late replacement Diego Lopes, and he saved us, Tim. What do you have here for your Lambo play?
I like Evloev sub plus 490, and I like Evloev sub 2 plus 1700, Evloev sub 3 plus 2200. I think eventually he breaks this dude and gets the thing with Lopes is like, yeah, he's more of a BJJ guy, but it's not like he's not going to be the better wrestler grappler here. Like he's just not. Like he's not going to be the more physical guy. The only guys that really give Evloev trouble are guys that are fucking monster athletes or just beasts physically that he can't kind of muscle in those positions. The only thing that scares me off of this is if Evloev just tries to stand and just jab him up for 15 minutes, which I actually think is a viable path for him, that it would be very easy for him to win a fight that way. But I think it's a time for him to just like, he typically has been a decisionator. And I think it's one of those times where it's like, dude, you're a minus 900, fucking finish this guy. We're giving you this guy on short notice, fucking finish this dude. So the reason why I also think that the subs are going to be live, especially later, obviously short notice, and the cardio will start to be tested, as well as just the grinding style from Evloev. But I think like round 2, round 3, like just the style of Lopes or Lopes, whatever it is, however you say it, like his style of jiu-jitsu, he's very like off of his back. He's trying to throw up arm bars. He's trying to throw up a lot of submissions. And that's going to give like multiple opportunities to pass and multiple opportunities to do damage and get into much, much, much better positions. So I think eventually he makes a stupid mistake and gets caught in a bad spot. So let's go sub plus 490, sub 2, 17-1, sub 3, 22-1.
I love your takes on it. I mean, really, really good takes. I could potentially see a sub here too. I don't think has Lopes ever been subbed? I don't think so. But
I don't think so. No.
I could see it. I mean, but I also could see a KO, Tim. And I think breaking him with ground and pound. Did you watch Joe Anderson Brito, Dana White's Contender Series against this guy? Like he took him down very easily and just was landing big shots on the ground. Like this guy like was visibly like wilting right on the ground before they got up and there was an eye poke or whatever and the fight was over. But I think short notice, Evloev's pace, his wrestling, he'll have some ground and pound here. KO2 is 700. KO3 is 1,200. I understand he doesn't have stoppages in the UFC. I don't even think he has a single one. But he has faced like fairly durable guys outside of like, I think Choi is probably the least durable out of these guys because Barzola, Lentz, the Dawoodu, Ige, guys like Grundy, these guys are not really easy to get out of there. They're tough guys. They're durable guys. And he's had a hard time getting them out of there. This guy on short notice, dude, and he's a fairly big guy for 45. So I don't know how his cut was. I don't know. He made it pretty easy and he looked good. I just think his defensive grappling is not good. Like his anti-wrestling, like he's going to get taken down very easily. And I think Evloev is going to pass and just smash this guy, dude. So round 2, round 3, KO, 700, 1,200. The one thing I always look at, like Evloev on Bet Rivers is minus 1,600, right? He's minus 1,000 in some spots, right? Why the fuck is the under, minus 112? Like, how does that make sense? Like, okay, if you're predicting this fight to go to decision, it shouldn't be minus 1,000 because hardly anybody covers minus 1,000 when it goes to decision. So something is off, similar to Cage Warriors last week, and I mentioned it, and the guy absolutely destroyed him in one round, right? Because I love the under in that spot. I like the under in this spot. Like, I think he's gonna stop him one way or another, and whether it be sub, whether it be KO, I think he stops him here, man. This is a levels matchup, and one guy is on a totally different level here. So, give me Evloev round 2, round 3 KO.
Do you think that because both of us are on different sides, I know that the round 2 and round 3 aren't really great lines, but they're like plus 450, plus 650 that we, maybe it's like they're not great at all. Those are horrible.
And that's my thing. It's like,
but thinking about it, I just actually thought this because this is what correlates with what you just said. It's like they're given under 2.5 at like minus 115 or whatever, minus 20, whatever, right?
You can get 900 on round 3 if you want it.
But I'm saying, like, but sharper books are putting it like 650, 700, something like that, right? For 3, and then like between 400 and 500 for 2. Yeah. That doesn't correlate with the under being under 2.5 being minus 1, whatever. It doesn't.
That's my thing.
It doesn't go at all. Like one of those is way fucking up.
The problem is you can't correlate it when you have a guy that's that big of a favorite and the under is only minus 112.
Right. So like
you can't correlate that.
If one of those that's what I'm saying. Like there's extreme value on one of those sides.
Yes.
Like I don't know
which one it is.
Right, but
I think it's the under if you ask 100%. Me. I think it's the under if you ask me, and I think Evloev.
I agree.
Guy.
I agree.
When I see lines like this and the unders are like this, it's almost an auto bet for me, dude.
I typically do
unless the guy is like he cannot finish on anything, but that's not true with Evloev. Like when you look at Evloev prior to the UFC, he had a lot of finishes, dude. Go look, a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of his 9 wins or 10 wins are by finishes, right? So he can finish. We know he can finish. But we'll see. I think it's off, and the book's got it wrong, but who knows? Fight number 10. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 24-10 Jessica Andrade versus the 16-3 Jordaine Yan. Is it me to kick this one off? Yeah, it's me to kick this one off. I've been pretty bold about this one all week, and the lines moved opposite, and everybody's on Yan, and everybody loves Yan this week. And maybe I'm wrong. I just think physicality matters in women's MMA. I always say it. Andrade moving down to 115. She's going to be, 3 times stronger than this girl. Yan, in the clinch against Marina Rodriguez, didn't look great. Yan versus Cookie Monster absolutely got ragdolled and stopped. And Cookie Monster can't even finish her lunch. I can go on and on. Claudia Gadelha, ragdolling this girl in round 1. I think Angela Hill even got a takedown against this girl. Like, the thing I'm trying to say here is I understand that people are playing Yan on the preface that she can dance around the cage, strike. She's the faster girl. She's got better hands as far as speed. That's true. I understand that. But what happens when Andrade decides to wrestle and gets her hands around this girl? Do you not think she's going to go for a ride? She might fucking slam her right on her head, just like Rhodes Namajunas, and knock her out with a fucking, slam like that, But on the ground, dude, once she gets her grounded, that's where I think the strength advantage is going to be really massive, dude. Like, she might crucifix her just like Cookie Monster did and smash her with elbows. I promise you. That scenario is very, very live in this fight. So, Jessica Andrade, I was like going between back and forth. What is it going to be? I'm going KO because I think she's just going to smash this girl, plus 360. But submission, maybe you're going to give that out. I think that's very live as well. What do you like here, Tim?
Yeah, man, I've been nodding the whole way, dude. Preach. Like I actually, that was one of my favorite bets of all time. Was betting. I think it was 16-1 KO prop for Cookie Monster versus Jan, and then I think it was like 35-1 on the round that she got her, and it was the exact same thing. It was just like, dude, she's not physical, and if you're talking about like Jan, also is kick reliant. She's not. She doesn't only throws hands. Like she throws a lot of kicks as well. If she tries to like throw body kicks, she's going to get a kick caught and like just really, really easy to take down either way. If she gets her hands and arms around her, she's going to, and if she wants to get taken down, she's going to get it taken down. She's going to get her taken down. So like you said, like from that point, I mean, I don't think that Andrade is a moron. Like when she fights, like I just think that I think she's got good fight IQ. I just think that she has the physicality and has the full rabies mode to make girls shit their pants. So it's like that's why avoid that if you realize like the person's defecating all over themselves as you're doing it, right? But I think also there's times where she does, like with Lemos, like when she started getting hit, the second that she started getting kicked over and over and over, and the second she instantly grappled. Like instantaneously. Like there's no way you can't tell me that like if she loses the first round and she is trying to strike with her and she's losing the majority of the rounds and losing the majority of the stand up, that she doesn't go for takedown. I'd be fucking shocked if that happens. So yeah, man, I go round 2, round 3, and I do lean kind of more. So you know what? I don't want to like really go into like the sub or the KO because like you're saying, man, it's really just like how does the shark want to kill her? But I inside the distance, and like I do feel like it might take a round of getting her down and beating the shit out of her, and then the second round that she takes her down, or third round that she actually gets the finish. Like,
dude, it's minus 170 now. I'm probably gonna add to it. To be honest, I'm not gonna get scared because the line's moving against me. I'm gonna go with what I see on tape. I don't understand. Everybody's betting on this line's getting nuked. Maybe I should wait and maybe even get a better.
Yeah,
line.
I'm gonna wait. I'm honestly gonna wait because I'm gonna make.
I mean, I already bet her at 200.
Just in case like, the decision prop hits too. Like I'm gonna probably better inside the distance.
The thing with me is like, man, like okay, I did a deep dive with this too because I'm like, man, what am I missing here? Why am I liking Andrade in this fight? Everybody's betting me on, and I honestly went very deep with this. And okay, look, I'm gonna go fight by fight really quick. Erin Blanchfield, she didn't grapple, obviously, for obvious reasons. I mean, Blanchfield is very good on the ground. She didn't even want it. She wanted to stand up with her, right? Fine, pass. Lauren Murphy, she got one takedown, but she didn't need it. Like, she was killing Lauren Murphy, right? It was a murder scene. So it doesn't matter. She didn't need to grapple. Amanda Lemos, you made a great point. Right away, she instigated that clinch. She got that whatever, after she felt a couple of those kicks, she knew what she needed to do in that fight. Cynthia Calvillo knocked her out in one round. She didn't need to grapple with her. She knew she was the better striker, right? Then Shevchenko, I mean, what's there to say? Shevchenko ragdolled her. She's just a stronger girl at that weight class. She out-strengthened her there. So there's nothing to say there. Now, Caitlin Chukagian, who is a girl that point fights on the outside striker, 2 takedowns in one round. Eventually stopped her with a body shot, right? So she grappled there. Rose Namajunas, another girl that kind of skates around. She got a takedown against her in their second fight. Zhang Wei Li, she got knocked out right away, pretty early in that fight, right? Rose Namajunas, the first fight, body slammed her right on her head and knocked her out with a slam, right? Karolina Kowalczyk, she knocked her out right away. Tisha Torres, 10 fucking takedowns. A girl that strikes, does kind of similar shit, 10 takedowns, right? Claudia Gadelha, a girl that also can grapple her as well, but 4 takedowns. She absolutely killed her in that fight, right? And you look on and on and on, dude. Joanna Jędrzejczyk, 2 takedowns. Angela Hill, similar fighter, 2 takedowns. Joanne Wood, kind of similar, 2 takedowns. Dude, she goes for takedowns when she knows these girls are strikers, primarily strikers. She's going to go for takedowns, and she is going to murder this girl on the ground, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be dead wrong, but I'm going to die on this hill because from what I watched on tape, Jan is just not physical enough, man. She looks too damn weak for me. And again, Andrade is moving from 25 to 15. She's going to be that much stronger at 15. So we'll see what happens. I love it.
When she fought Blanchfield too, I mean, she's going up 25 and she's fighting like 2 weeks, like how short a notice, super short notice.
Yeah.
Like Blanchfield.
I think that's why we're getting the line. Okay, if she doesn't fight Blanchfield and lose to Blanchfield, this line is not -170.
And it's also the way it's like the way that she lost to her as well. She didn't just like everybody expected.
That's a good point. She used to fight at 105. Yeah, I mean, she looks weak, dude.
Yeah, at 15, like you said too. I mean, Marina was winning clinch positions against her too.
Yeah,
so it's like
there's just the shit out of her.
There's no way in those positions that she doesn't get a body lock and just completely slam her. Like
I can't remember which fight it was exactly. But I think maybe it was Angela Hill. I don't remember. But one of those fights, she just like tossed her to the ground. It was so fucking weird, dude. This girl, I don't know. Maybe it's me, my eyes, but I think she's very, very weak, this girl, Jan. And if she doesn't, if she can't like keep it standing and like if she lets Andrade get a hold of her, she's going for a ride. I'm almost 100% certain. Moving on, we're going on to the co-main event of the night, and it's a 5-round fight here, Tim. It's in the welterweight division. It is the 22-3 Bilal Muhammad versus the 22-5 Gilbert Burns. What do you have here for your Lambo play, Tim?
Things would not be right on the Lambo Plays podcast if I did not throw out at least one fight ends by split decision, and this is the one that I kind of think that it's live. Just different styles here, a little more volume, a little more just cardio edge, slightly on the. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, I just think that this is one of those fights where I think Gilbert has early success, and I think Bilal's going to have success later in the fight. And just when that teeter-totter happens in the fight, I'm not exactly sure. Probably like midway through 3 to 4. I just think that that's when you'll start to see things change a little bit. Maybe there's one earlier round that you get a split on either way. So. Yeah, fight ends in split plus 500. Either guy is plus 1,000. So if you want to take a shot on a particular guy to win by decision at that point, I do think that the fight, like the finishing equity in the fight, is actually more on the Burns side. I know that obviously Bilal is typically a decisionator, but he did have a good performance his last fight against Sean Brady. But I just think that like. If Bilal takes him down, he's not going to enjoy Burns on the ground. And I think that Burns is just a different beast there. So I think that it is possible that Burns could get good positions for subs or things like that. And I also do think that Burns has the type of power that is similar to Luque, where if he hits him with the right shot, he might be able to bonk him. But I really do. It's more like a 20%, 15 to 20% fight ends than 80%, 85% fight goes. So fight goes. If the fight does go, that I think end split is really solid.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say there? I have the same play. I don't have a single split all card, and then this was the one, man. This was the one that I think split happens. I just feel like this thing here is it's bound to go split, man. I mean, like you mentioned, everything you mentioned is what I think. Burns early, and then later Bilal. If you want to make a bet here, I, especially on Bilal, just wait for a live bet because, Burns, he's dangerous early. And if he gets his positions early, he might be able to finish maybe. So I would wait for a live bet on Bilal. That's how I'm going to play it. But who knows, maybe Bilal starts out fast. Nobody knows. But yeah, split decision for me as well here. With that being said, 84 of you in here, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And we'll move on to the main event of the night, man. I can't wait for this fight. It is in the bantamweight division. It is for the bantamweight championship. The 22-3 Aljamain Sterling versus the 16-2 Henry Cejudo. Man, what a fucking fight, Tim. Like, I want to make a bet on Cejudo pre-flop. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait again for a live bet here because 3.5 years out of the ring rust, a lot of question marks. Cejudo, 4 years ago, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm betting him here all day, all night, pre-flop, everything, you name it. I would like him here in this spot because for me, Aljamain Sterling, in order for him to have success, he needs to get the back. He needs to get a takedown. I know people are saying, oh, he can out-volume him. Like, I don't think so, dude. Like, I don't think he's the better striker here. And, technically speaking, Cejudo's the way better striker. Like, yeah, I know he throws a lot of volume, Aljamain does, but he's not a good technical striker, man. And Cejudo has nasty leg kicks. Like, Cejudo can switch stances in his karate stance. It's unbelievable how a world-class gold medalist wrestler can turn into such a great striker, dude. Like, his striking is on point, man, both defensively and offensively. Like, he's just good. He switches stances, just knows how to fight. And his wrestling obviously is next level, dude. Like, is Aljamain going to take this guy down? I just don't see it, dude. Like, I don't see it. We mentioned yesterday, and Liam mentioned it, standing back take, maybe. He might be able to get a standing back take on Cejudo. I just don't see him having success getting takedowns. And Aljamain Sterling gas tank sucks for 5 rounds. It just is what it is. It's not very good. And part of the reason is because he's a huge 35er. He makes a huge weight cut, and everybody knows that. Look at the amount of muscle on this guy, right? That takes a lot of oxygen to feed those muscles. And I think this guy tires out a lot in fights. Like, honestly, the first fight against Peter Yan, if Yan doesn't do that stupid knee, it just looks like it was a wrap, dude. Like, Yan is going to stop him, right? Fight number 2 against Yan, if you were to tell him, how do you want to start this fight out? He would say, oh, I want a back take in round 1. I want a back take in round 2. Okay, here you are with those same exact positions, and you're absolutely mauling Peter Yan in those first 2 rounds. And come round 4 and 5, and you're tired again. You're fucking gassing, and you're shooting these weird takedowns, sloppy. But the problem there is because of those back takes, because of those positions, Yan was also very tired in round 4 and 5, so he couldn't really do a lot of damage, even though that fight was still very close. Now, Cejudo's a way, 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 way better wrestler than Yan is, right? Defensively, offensively, you name it. He's better. So if, like, Aljamain goes for takedowns, he can't get him. How much more tired is he going to be, Tim, in round 3, 4, and 5, right? And Cejudo has very, very good cardio from his past. Like, I don't know, maybe after 3.5 years, he has shit cardio. It's possible. But from previous tape against Demetrius Johnson, in a high-level fight with a lot of scrambling, with grappling, and you name it, he won in round 5 and 4 even against Demetrius Johnson. So where I'm getting at is round 3 is 1,800, round 4 is 2,100, and round 5 is 2,900. I'm playing every single one of these, and I think Cejudo is very live to stop Aljamain Sterling in this later rounds if he survives the first 2, and if it's the Cejudo of old. And that's why I have these ifs, why I'm not playing in pre-flop. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, that's a great breakdown. You and I have, I had to time off, but we've come back on the same mindset here at a lot of these picks this week. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I think only thing I would add is I think that it could be round 2, end of round 2 as well. So it's 16-1. I don't know, man. Like, the Aljamain just seems rattled a little bit mentally. This camp, he's just not the same. He doesn't have the same level like swag this round, and like level of ease about himself. And I'm not sure that if it's like matters or whatever, but he just doesn't seem the same to me. But we'll see if it matters. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I think Henry eventually breaks him. Henry KO is plus 380. 3, 4, 5 KO is plus 900, and then if you want to take each individual round, like I said, the end of round 2 I think is possible as well, and that's 16-1. So you might as well take a small stab at that with the 18, 21, and 29. But definitely with you, man. Henry Violence.
Yeah, I mean, Mbaye says, seems like Henry's here for a paycheck. I disagree. Like, I mean, Henry's been coaching for 3.5 years. He's like the main wrestling coach, main coach over there at Fight Ready. Like, this guy's a multi-time gold medalist. I think he's well off already. He has money. I don't think he's here for a paycheck, to be honest. Like, yeah, of course, anybody wants a paycheck. But if he was here for a paycheck and he's been coaching and he's been getting a income, why wait 3.5 years if he needs a paycheck? Like, I don't think so, man. I think it just, he wanted to come back. He wants to prove a point. I think that's the type of guy he is. He wants to prove a point. This guy's a winner through and through. He won the title in 25. He won the title at 35. Gold medalist in wrestling. Yeah, but married, who cares? He says income coming though. Like, you're making it seem like he doesn't have a job, and he has a main job with Fight Ready. He's making money. He's also making money when you're a coach. Just so you know, when you're a coach, every fighter that steps in the cage there, he gets a percentage of their thing, like whatever it is, 10%, whatever. Him and the other coaches, they probably split it, but he makes money off that. So I don't know about that. I don't. That's a narrative that I'm not gonna follow.
Here's a narrative that I'll go on though, that I think is actually a very true narrative in sports. Don't doubt people that are fucking gold medal winners in anything. Like, just if you're that great that you win a gold medal in a sport in the Olympics, like there's going to be.
Yeah, you're definitely pushing that narrative.
Yeah, like I just think that narrative is like, I just feel like the greatness is
yeah.
I just don't think that they want to throw themselves. It's kind of like John Jones. Like, I doubted John Jones's greatness, and it's like, dude, don't doubt greatness.
You know, one thing that they mentioned yesterday that I really loved, and it kind of resonated with me a lot, man. Think about the level John Jones is at. What level is he? He's GOAT status, right? John Jones is known as one of the best fighters, pound for pound, in all of MMA, probably ever, right? Who did John Jones go to prior to that fight, right? To get ready.
Right.
Who did he go to? Henry Cejudo. He went to Henry Cejudo. Here's another one that they brought up yesterday. I didn't even know this. Who did the other guy that's known as also a GOAT, right? That Henry Cejudo beat? Who did he go to for his training? Demetrius Johnson went to Cejudo to train as well. So what does that tell you? Like, what is that? That's telling me that this guy is just a fucking mind in MMA, man. Like, he has a great mind. His IQ is super high. It's super good. I mean, listen, I'm going to say this, like, it's important. When you're a level of a wrestler that Henry Cejudo was at, a world-class wrestler that's been wrestling since he's probably, out of his mom's womb, right? You know how hard it is to be a good striker like he is right now? It's almost impossible, dude. Like, there's not many guys. Name me a guy that's a world-class wrestler, gold medalist, that's a very good striker. Nobody. Because it's extremely hard to do. It's not easy to transition to striking now when you've been wrestling all your life. I don't care how much you train. And the guy did it because that's the type of athlete he is. He's a crazy level athlete. He's really, really good with his fight IQ. Aljamain is talking about retiring. You want to talk about narratives? How about the fact that Aljamain wants to retire, wants to move up? He doesn't even know what he wants to do with his life. He wants to act. He wants to do this. So there's a lot of bad narratives on Aljamain's side. And the other good narrative for you, Mbaye, it's Cinco de Mayo weekend. And do you know what Henry Cejudo's background is? He's Mexican. So guess what? You want a real narrative? That's your real narrative for the week. It's Henry Cejudo time, in my opinion, and we're going to hear a new UFC champion this weekend. I think Henry Cejudo, hopefully he's back to his old self. I mean, he should roll if he's back to his old self. Yep, 96 of you still in here. Thank you very much. One last thing to do here is give out our Lambo parlays. Tim, do you have yours?
I do. You ready to go? All right, man. Let's go. Dober ITD Chaos ITD, Verna ITD is 14-1. Add Andrade ITD 35-1. Add Evloev ITD 106-1. Add Kron ITD 214-1.
God damn it! What are you doing? Hold on a second.
No, I'm just saying, like I like the 4. I like the 4.
14-1 is the first one. 14
the three legs. Dober Chaos Verna is 14-1. Add Andrade is 35-1. Add Evloev is like just over 100-1.
Okay.
So yeah, those are good.
All right. So for me, I'm gonna go with. I have two of them actually. I have an add-on too. I'm gonna go with Ribeiro KO. I'm gonna go with Parker Porter KO, and I'm gonna go with Chaos KO. I'm sorry, and add Andrade KO. That's gonna give you 51-1 on that specific one.
Love it.
The other one is if you want to swap out Andrade KO and make it ITD for Andrade, it gives you 38-1. So it's a little less, but because she's live for the sub too. But I think KO is good. If you want to swap out Andrade in general and you don't like that side, I have added Kennedy KO. It's 28-1. So instead of Andrade, you go with Kennedy KO 28-1. Maybe we hit this sucker, Tim. What do you think?
Yeah, dude, I like it. So the Claudio Porter Chaos and then Kennedy is the 28-1.
Yes, and then if it's Andrade, it's 51-1 with the KO.
Cool.
Yep, they're all KO, so they're not ITDs. They're just KO props.
Yep.
So I'm going strictly KO here. But yeah, man, thank you to everybody. 106 of you in here. What happened? We got a big boost here to 106 at the end of the show. What I'm going to do is after the show, I'm going to go back and I'm going to add the timestamps. A lot of people are like, please add timestamps, add timestamps. They're too lazy to go through the video one by one. They want the timestamps. They want it easier, and I'm going to make it easier. I'll put the timestamps together. But yeah, guys, tomorrow's going to be a great day, hopefully, for our betting. And yeah, thank you for all being in here. One last thing, like I usually say, let's fucking cash those tickets for UFC 288 tomorrow. Good luck, everybody.